Alright folks, how you doing? So I've got a clip here from an old Alex Jones movie called America Destroyed by Design, and this is a further analysis of what I believe to be an upper lesser type B.
Alright, sir, we're ready for you. Alright, they're ready for me. Let's go. Come over and get the pretty little red light. Come on. Isn't that pretty? And they'll put a nice little clinic in here in the next few years for urine and blood testing like Clinton wants.
Another narcissist, incidentally, Bill Clinton, which should be a surprise to nobody.
What do I have to hide? I'm a criminal. There we have it. Nice little pretty red light. Get that, Mike.
Yeah, it reminds you of HAL from 2001, A Space Odyssey, or those machines from the Matrix.
There we have it. Your photograph,
or even Transformers. The ones with the green eyes are good, the ones with the red eyes are bad.
Capture your signature, they capture your thumbprint, and now Clinton wants urine and blood, and I've given that to the media, the actual federal register that he wants the states to implement. And I guess it tells them how to put clinics in, and it tells them how to urine and blood test law-abiding citizens not under 18 like the media says.
Incidentally, just while I remember, I would recommend buying Christopher Hitchens' book, No One Left to Lie To, where he thoroughly exposes Bill Clinton. The only thing that he fell short on was not identifying him as a narcissist, but, you know, H.G. Tudor wasn't really around when Christopher Hitchens was at the height of his power. So it's a shame that those two never intersected, but, you know, Christopher Hitchens was a victim of his own, you know, self-destructive habits. You know, he was a chain smoker, an alcoholic, so, you know, he kind of brought on his own end, but a man of unparalleled genius, in my opinion. I got a lot of respect for Christopher Hitchens.
Hi. How you doing? I am here with 8 forms of identification. I have my passport. Here's that, my name, and the form you asked me to fill out. I have no criminal record. My name is Alexander Emmerich Jones. Here is my passport.
See, this is what makes me think he's an upper lesser B, because a lower lesser, he's about to say in a few minutes here that he doesn't have a criminal record. Almost inevitably, a lower lesser narcissist would have a criminal record, a middle lesser as well. And Alex is well dressed here, well, for the most part, you know. Whereas lower lessers and middle lessers tend to be slobs, basically. They have no sense of fashion. Plus, he's an upper lesser, which means he's closer to being mid-range. Mid-range is all about facade and presentation, but I don't think he's mid-range. If Alex Jones is mid-range, he's lower mid-range, but I think he's upper lesser type B because he has the boisterous bullishness behavior of the upper lesser B. He's not an upper lesser A either because they're just airheads, the affable assholes. There's not really a lot about Alex Jones that's affable.
Here is my insurance. Here is another form of ID. Here is my old driver's license. Here is my birth certificate, and here is my W-2 form. And here is 2 more insurance cards, old ones, just so you can double check. It's a health club card.
You've got plenty of ID.
Okay.
Good to go. We're going to get you duplicate right now.
Need for you to answer these first 3 questions.
Take a look at these questions there and go over them things.
So I don't have to thumb scan?
Well, we're going to get to that. You are eventually going to have to. Yes, sir.
But not now.
Not at this point, but you will before we're done with the process.
Why?
Because it's required.
It's required by Bill Clinton in 1992. And
it's interesting to see a lesser narcissist here, you know, opposing another narcissist. I forget exactly what type of narcissist Bill Clinton is, but I'll cover him in other videos in the future anyway. But it is interesting, you know, when I say narcissist, I'll point out narcissist. Narcissist does not mean good or evil. Sometimes narcissists can fall down on the side of right. They can fall down on the side of justice, especially lesser narcissists, you know. Just because somebody is a narcissist does not mean they're a bad person, and it doesn't mean that they don't have a point. That's something I really need to highlight and underline.
Was instituted here in Texas in 1993. I know the code, sir. Are you going to institute his urine and blood testing when he commands you? Are you going to stick a needle in my arm when I have no criminal record?
The only questions I'm going to answer right now are concerning driver's license issuance.
You just follow orders, don't you?
And of course, a narcissist does not want to follow orders, obviously.
You're saying you're going to deny me the constitutional right to travel if I do not submit to this digital thumb scanning.
Now, upper lesser type Bs can make people incredibly uncomfortable. They can make people break out in a cold sweat at the drop of a hat because they're bulldogs, you know. And normals and empaths would not carry on this way. This is what makes me think Alex Jones is a narcissist. But I have to stress again, that doesn't mean he's evil. That doesn't mean he's wrong. That doesn't mean he's bad. It just means he's a narcissist.
What I will tell you, today you will not receive a duplicate driver's license if you do not submit to a thumbprint.
Okay, look,
That's the wrong word to use when you're dealing with a narcissist. Submit. Don't use that word with narcissists. It's going to trigger them. As Alex gets triggered here.
I feel like I'm being raped here.
Well, I would sit down with you for hours and try to do what I could to help you.
Then just give me my license without digitally thumb scanning.
And being nice to narcissists, especially lesser narcissists, trying to placate them doesn't work. It only winds them up more.
Not going to violate DPS policy.
Is there a religious exception?
For your exception.
See, because he's a lesser narcissist, he's looking for any way to get his way.
Is there a religious exception?
No.
And there's no facade with Alex Jones, which makes me think not a mid-range narcissist. If he is mid-range, it's lower mid-range, but I don't think he is. I'm pretty confident that he's upper lesser type B. He exhibits all the behaviours, the bullishness, the boisterousness, the sense of entitlement, lack of boundary recognition here, like walking into, a place like this, and being as aggressive and assertive as he is. This is not something empaths or normals would do, even if they were stressed.
No, sir, there's not.
Everyone must take the mark. A digitally enhanced mark.
I'm not talking about mark.
A digital tattoo.
And another thing as well, I don't think he's a greater narcissist, because graters approach things typically with a plan, with a long-term strategy, whereas what you see with Alex Jones is just, bullishness, is straight to the jugular, straight to the target. That's upper lesser type Bs. They're straight to the target. They really are the arrow that goes straight for the bullseye. There's no pussyfooting around with lesser narcissists. They are what they appear to be.
No, your ID, you are good to go.
Yeah, well, if I'm good to go, why do you need my thumbprint?
And notice it's ratcheting up. The more that you threaten the control of a narcissist, especially a lesser narcissist, the more upset they get and wound up, and they'll explode all over you.
It's part of Bill Clinton's law.
See, with the finger pointing again, we saw this with the Alex Jones Piers Morgan interview.
Isn't it? It's an executive order. It's a decree by Bill Clinton. NCIC. Yeah, and if I drive without a license, what's the penalties for driving without?
Look how uncomfortable everybody else is. This is typical upper lesser B. They will make everyone else squirm, but narcissists are blind to the effect of their own behavior when they're lessers like this,
Without a license.
I don't even want to go there.
That's right.
You know why?
I'm asking you.
It doesn't pertain to it.
You're an officer. I'm asking you the law.
I would be.
See, anyone else, an empath or a normal, would be embarrassed to behave this way. But, of course, a narcissist, this is just a typical Tuesday, Especially when you're upper lesser B.
Glad you sat down.
So you're saying I'll be committing a crime by driving if I don't take your mark?
I would be glad to do anything I can to help you, sir.
Well, see, you're
I'm
saying,
not against you, and I understand.
Officer Ard, you're
Notice calling him by his name there. That's assertion of control.
sitting here, Sergeant, and telling me that you're all friendly and you're all nice, but I'll be
The mockery of a narcissist.
pulled over and given tickets. If I don't pay those, I will go to jail because of my morals and my beliefs. I will not take this. And I'm here to tell you, I already took this in '93, and many people will say, well, you've already taken it. What's your problem with it? Because now I figured out what this is, and I'm opposing all those others that are being herded in here like cattle to be thumb scanned like criminals.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
We don't even need to start there. If I know that you're not going to submit to a thumbprint, why waste your time?
See, right up front, they will drop.
Because he's a narcissist and he has to assert control. See, his narcissism has rewritten the situation in his mind. He's standing up for truth and justice and opposing tyranny and all this, but deep down it's just a narcissist behaving like a narcissist. But that's not to say that he's wrong. That's not to say that he doesn't have a point. You have to look at you can't, how can I put this? You can't impose Abrahamic values, let's just put it that way, onto a narcissist. You can't look at them as moral or immoral, right or wrong, righteous or wicked, sinners or saints. Narcissist is a whole different thing. Narcissism is a whole other subject area that needs to be explored separately, because it is a separate issue.
And people are being turned away all day here. So you're saying I pay my taxes.
Probably not true, but narcissists operate by their own truths.
I'm raped by the IRS, which is criminal.
Hyperbole.
It's well known.
You heard the keyword submit.
Submit. He just said I must submit.
Not the smartest thing to say to a narcissist.
I'm telling you, I've never been to jail.
That's what makes me think not a lower lesser narcissist and not a middle lesser narcissist. He's an upper narcissist. So he's at the higher echelons of a lesser narcissist, but, you know, I think the upper lesser type Bs are the most developed and the most advanced of the lesser narcissists, but they still are lesser.
What do you want me to do for you?
I want you to give me my driver's license.
Again, straight to the point. What do you want? I want this. I want this. And I'm going to, you know, karate chop the air and get mad and point my finger at you and cause a scene and make everyone embarrassed and deeply uncomfortable and stamp my feet and go la 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 with the fingers on my ears until I get what the fuck I want. That's basically an upper lesser type B.
I want my driver's license. I am not a criminal. I may become one today, but that's fine. You're saying you won't take me to jail at 5 if I'm still here.
No, we're not going to take you to jail.
Oh, yeah. This is against the grain of the Constitution. Look, if I don't take the mark, my right to travel is taken. You're taking my rights and telling me that it's no big deal? And now you want a urine and blood test. Bring me the document. Who has the urine and blood test?
So this is what I mean by at the higher levels of a lesser narcissist, because he has some degree of preparation about him. You know, lower or middle lesser narcissists would not be prepared. But he is. He's gone in with something of a plan. So that makes me think higher level lesser narcissist, because he's close to mid-range, but not quite there. You know, because mid-range narcissists do have something of a plan. So he's close to mid-range, but I don't think he quite gets there.
Testing document. I need it. I'm going to pass these out to people. Ladies and gentlemen, the Federal Register, Bill Clinton, urine and blood testing plan for you. Tell your friends about it. We have got to stand against this.
And by the way, the urine and blood thing that he's talking about here, as far as I'm aware, never happened. So, you know, did Alex Jones have something to do with that? Perhaps. Perhaps he did, you know. Like I say, upper lesser type Bs, they can be on the right side sometimes, you know.
The states are preparing to implement this plan. This is not a joke. This is not the entire document. It gets worse. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a joke to them. Only Coach Penders matters. Only diversions like Rome, the gladiators. If I don't take this, will I...
And notice how an upper lesser type B can become like a rallying point, like a champion, like a leader. You know, well, President Trump got elected, didn't he?
Not be penalized for not having a driver's license, by not being able to cash a check, by being given tickets that if I don't pay those tickets, I'll be taken to jail. I can't travel out of state. I can't get on board an airplane. And the media is talking about thumb scanning to travel. You're working with the foreign banks and the military-industrial complex. This is all their idea. Read the Military War College from 1968. They planned this. And just because you lay around doesn't mean it's not true. This is not a publicity stunt. I was a lot happier years ago before I got into all this garbage. I'm sick of sheep laying down. I wish you'd get up and do something. Makes me want to vomit. Our forefathers went to World War II and World War I and fought in the Civil War to end slavery, and it means nothing to y'all. We're a bunch of yellow-bellied weaklings. I am sick of it.
And again, you know, being a narcissist, he views himself as superior to other people, but this is at the subconscious level. You know, it reminds me of the quote by Alexander the Great when he says, "I'm not afraid of an army of lions led by a sheep. I'm afraid of an army of sheep led by a lion." And the upper lesser Bs are very much the lions. They will maul your ass if you get in the way.
I'm sick of people laying down like a bunch of jellyfish and rationalizing what's going on. People ought to be ashamed of themselves.
My brother's a cop. Gold star in the arm and be quiet.
Yes, exactly.
Now look very carefully at Mike Cox.
Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this analysis, and thank you for watching.